We're here today with 3 simple strategies to immediately strengthen your family relationships. Stick around for all 3 because the third one is my favorite, and it's really a long-term strategy as well. We'll get to that in just a minute.
Okay, strategy number 1, smile more.
And what could be more simple?
That sounds really simple, doesn't it?
Well, it is simple, and it's something that we overlook a lot. I remember one of our viewers sharing with me that she tried a little experiment with her kids. Now, she's got 3 or 4 kids. Her experiment was, I'm just going to smile more and see what happens. It's kind of a fun experiment, actually, and you're going to get potentially mixed results. I've said very many times here on the channel that when moms are smiling, kids are thinking.
Right. I think part of the idea of just smiling more is becoming more aware of maybe your resting face. So just choose a smiling face occasionally more often, you know. I remember, this is a little different. I remember once being quite angry and I was just kind of going down the road and I was thinking and I looked up in the mirror, the rearview mirror, and I looked and I had those eyebrows.
Yeah.
And I thought,
right up through here.
Oh, I didn't realize that I wasn't feeling as angry as my face looked. Let's just say that, right? And so I like relaxed it and smiled. And I think a lot of the times we will walk around with a bit of an angry face when really we are not feeling angry. So try smiling.
Pay attention to other people's reactions to this. I get this a lot because I'm pathologically positive. I'm the positivity shrink. And I've learned and I've practiced over the years to hold a smiling, you call it a resting face, which people who are in speech language pathology like Vicki, they have all of these terms that I get to learn as I go. But my resting face is typically a smile. I keep my eyebrows up a little bit. I've got a little bit of a smile. And it's so funny because people will wave at me, kind of unsure.
Like, do I know you? Why are you smiling?
Why are you smiling at me? And I realize, oh, they just see my smile and they think that I know them or that I'm greeting them.
But smiling kind of invites engagement. And really, we're talking about creating a better family culture, right? Better relationships. So let's smile. We invite engagement.
That's the whole purpose of this particular strategy. So try it with your kids. Now, just pick a morning or an afternoon. Pick a little time frame that you could experiment with this and intentionally bring a smile to your face. Okay? Loosen things up a little. If you feel some tightness in your forehead, like you were demonstrating earlier, Vic, loosen that up. Okay? Smooth out those eyebrows. Bring them up just a little bit. Okay? And bring a smile to your face. And just try it for a couple of hours. See what happens. Notice what's going on with your kids. When I said when moms are smiling, kids are thinking, sometimes when mom and dad are smiling, kids are worried.
They're downright worried.
What are we not in the loop on here? What did we miss?
Right?
And they start thinking. But that's part of the family culture, and it will increase the energy. If you can already tell that these things are going to help you in your family, take just a moment to click that subscribe button, and once you do, hit the notification bell, and we'll be there for you. Here's our second strategy. Expressions of gratitude.
But not just expressions, thoughts of gratitude also.
Ooh, good catch.
And I think this is a lot more important than we give it credit for, because a lot of the times you're going along and you're thinking, they don't really know what I'm thinking. I'm faking it and they're buying it. And I'm telling you that children from a very, very young age, we have learned how to read people's minds, their thoughts, their movements, their actions. It's a kind of a survival skill that we have early. So if you think you're faking it, you're probably not. Right?
You'll be found out.
Yes.
And it comes across as ingenuous. It comes across as being fake or phony. And then that actually deteriorates our family culture. We don't want to do that.
Yeah,
we want to be genuine.
Relationships, right?
So thank you for pointing that out, Vicki. It's not just about expressing the gratitude. It's about actually feeling it, putting yourself in a frame of mind where you can actually feel it. And gratitude is one of the most powerful ways to increase the positive energy, not only in your own mind and in your own thinking, but in all of the relationships where you're showing up.
And with this expression of gratitude, it is good to learn how to be specific rather than super generic or general when you are expressing gratitude to someone. So you might say,
Yes.
I really appreciate how you handled that with your little brother.
Right. So it's a specific incident and they actually know about it. Or to focus on a character trait, something about them that describes them. Thank you for being so patient with me while I was making dinner.
Or you
that.
are just such a genuine dad. The way that you handled that is so genuine. You
Right.
know?
Pointing to who they are and what drives them. This gratitude is probably the quickest way that I've ever encountered as a psychologist to change our frame of mind and to get into a positive energy in a relationship. It's absolutely powerful. Gratitude. I mentioned right at the beginning that my favorite one is the last one. It's actually a long-term strategy, and it's something that will transform your family culture into a more positive environment for everyone. And I call it the family council.
This is something we've tried in our family as well, and we've used. And one of the characteristics of a family council is that it's kind of a regular meeting that you hold.
It's so that everyone expects it.
Right.
Here's some of the behind the scenes information. There will be times when you need to have conversations with the kids. And there are the big topics, right? Like sex and drugs and all of those things that you really want to talk to your kids about. But there's also more subtle things like respect and communication and how we treat each other within the home. There are so many different topics or principles that we get concerned about as parents. How awkward is it going to be if you go to the family and you say, okay, we need to have a meeting?
The talk.
And then everybody's like, oh no, what is it this time, right? Or the talk, and everybody's feeling awkward and uncomfortable, as opposed to
something that's pretty regular, we're expected.
Well, we did ours every Monday night. We called it Family Home Evening. And it was our chance to come together as a family, and everyone knew that every Monday we do this. And for you, it might be every Saturday morning. It might be every Sunday afternoon.
Or maybe on the first Sunday of a month or something, right?
Right. You pick it. Now, we did ours weekly, but the point is it needs to be regular so that people anticipate it. And that's not the only element, because there's some other important elements. But find a time when you can do this on a regular basis, and then that conveniently becomes the venue in which you can talk about the awkward and the less awkward topics as they come up, because then it's simply the topic of the day.
Right.
It doesn't have to be so uncomfortable for everyone. Now, there's some other elements that are important.
One is kind of have it be somewhat principle-based.
And this is the parent's responsibility. Right. But it's not just the parent's job. So the parents get to identify what is the principle we need to discuss. And that's always an element of our family council. We will discuss some principle that's important to our family.
But even principle based in that everybody has a part, right? So like you might have jobs as part of this meeting. Or one of the things I like now that our kids, when our kids were littler, they maybe picked a thought or a song or a treat or things like that. And so the principle is that everybody participates, right? Everybody has a place. Everybody's voice is heard. And now our kids are grown and they have families of their own. So we only meet once a month, and we do it by Zoom because people live in 3 different states. And there's still the principle of our current one, because there's not chores and things. It is to be thinking of we call it wins and grins. You know, we want to bring out the positive things that are happening in our life and how to share those with each other. And so that's kind of our principle.
And there's a discussion of principles as well when you go into these meetings, and you can assign that out to the kids.
Right.
Hey, prepare a thought about honesty.
Yeah, or whatever it is.
Okay, so that's the principle. So it's principle based. Now, another thing, you kind of mentioned this, Vicki, as you were giving us a little summary. Have some fun activity. Yeah. It's important to have fun. And this might be a game or an activity or something we do together as a family. If it's not fun, you're going to have a hard time engaging the kids in this. If it is fun and they start to learn that every week we have this fun time together, then they start to anticipate it. they start to look forward to it. And you can give them assignments and responsibilities to come up with some fun activity. And then there's one other really essential element. You got to have a treat.
Definitely.
And you mentioned this one as well. There's psychological reasons for this beyond the fact that dad has a sweet tooth. Because I like to have a treat.
Right.
I mean, so save dessert. You're having dinner, you save dessert for the family council meeting. Okay? Or you go out and you get a donut or an ice cream or shave ice or whatever it is that you would enjoy together, a treat as a family. The psychological importance of this comes back to research that's actually been done about how our body and brain chemistry changes when we're enjoying a treat. And you're doing that together as a family. Mm-hmm. And we're not trying to, shoot your diet or make everybody in the family overweight.
Treats can be healthy as well.
Absolutely.
It's still just a fun thing to do together.
And that's an important part. So we've got these elements. It's regular. That's absolutely important. It is principle-based. Mm-hmm. We always have fun together and we enjoy a treat. Put that into place. It will transform your family culture. We would love to continue this conversation with you. In fact, the next video that's queuing up right now has to do with establishing and building that sturdy family culture. Cue that one up next, and we'll see you on that video.